This has got to be the worst year in professional wrestling history. TNA just lost another member of the Beautiful People and the biggest star in their Knockouts division that didn't come from WWE. If you want proof that Fail Kim has done nothing but kill the Knockouts, think about this. This may seem like a bold claim, but I fully blame Fail Kim for Velvet Sky leaving. I mean, think about it. Before she came in, Velvet was getting the push of her career. They built her up to be the face of the division. She had her crowning moment at Bound for Glory. Her entire career was built up to get to this point. Then as soon as Fail Kim came in, she gets all the belts handed to her, and TNA forgets everything they were doing with Velvet Sky and every other knockout in their division that they were pushing for that matter, and takes them all off TV. Now, I don't want to turn this into a Fail Kim rant, but this really is her fault. Really, think about it. Look at the state of the Knockouts division. Almost all of them have to work the independents to make money. Winter and Rosita are venturing off into other areas. Mickie James has expressed frustration, and two of their biggest knockouts TNA had just left. Why? Because Fail Kim has stolen their spots. I mean, sure, you can blame the writers, but ask yourself these questions. If Kim had never come back to TNA, would the division be in the state it is in now? Would all these knockouts have remained off TV for this long? Would Winter, Sarita, and Rosita have to work the independents to make money? Would ODB and Eric Young be tag champions right now? Would Angelina and Velvet have left the company? The answer to all these questions is no. Everything changed as soon as Kim came back to TNA. So it's a shame that Velvet got robbed of everything her career was built up to. With everything she's done for TNA, she deserved to be on top for a hell of a lot longer than 1 month. I mean, say what you want about her wrestling, but the fact is she's a bigger loss than either time Fail Kim left. And of course, you have those people who don't understand the wrestling business that say, oh, she's no big loss, she wasn't a great wrestler. It's really like these people don't understand the point of wrestlers having gimmicks, so the crowd can get emotionally invested in them, in these larger-in-life characters, personality, charisma, mic skills, etc. I mean, did the people love Rocky Maivia for being a great wrestler? No, in fact they turned on him and they didn't start loving him until he developed that personality that made him famous. Velvet was a great personality. I mean, just because she didn't know a million moves doesn't mean she wasn't valuable at all. In fact, she was so valuable that WWE tried to have another diva duplicate her personality, which obviously didn't work as well. Plus side, now the Beautiful People are back together in the indies. As for them coming to WWE, I mean, on one hand, WWE doesn't properly use their divas, so it could just get massively watered down to the point where they're no longer the Beautiful People. On the other hand, they're the complete package that WWE looks for in terms of appearance, personality, mic skills, and in-ring work. So who knows, they could have potential to revive the division. The divas need all the new talent they can get anyway. So on the other side of the rainbow, it looks like some other divas might be making their return. Kelly has been vacationing for 2 months now. It was rumored she'd be taking a permanent vacation and go back to modeling, but WWE has been trying everything in their power to keep her contracted. Big surprise, WWE actually does care about their women more than TNA does. They offered her a new contract with higher salary and everything else, and rumor has it she accepted the deal and will be returning full-time starting this week. This could be good for the Divas division. I mean, Kelly may not be the most talented diva of all time, but at least WWE cares enough about her to want to keep her contracted. Plus, she's one of the only divas that casual fans at least actually care about for right now. Layla certainly isn't getting her kind of reaction. Now, people said Kelly leaving would have no effect on the division at all. Do you guys still think that after these last 2 months? I mean, Kelly is a diva that WWE actually care about, so her return might mean they'll start caring about the Divas division as a whole again. Also, the Bella Twins could be returning sometime in the future too. Now, I was concerned about Nikki's implants because it obviously hurts their twin image a little. With that much of an obvious difference, it's hard to imagine them coming back and trying to pull twin magic. But in an interview they did for Maxim magazine, they stated that they look forward to coming back. And just the way they phrased that would make you think that it's a sure thing because they didn't use words like maybe or we might. They're looking forward to it, which means their passion is still there, and they actually want to come back when they're ready. I mean, look at it this way, even if you hate the Bella Twins, when they were there, Vince McMahon himself was pushing creative to feature them more. Even if you didn't like seeing them, you were at least guaranteed to see 2 or more other divas feature along with them. How often have any divas besides AJ been featured since the Bellas left? There have literally been like 4 or 5 divas matches on Raw and SmackDown combined since April. People were saying that the Bellas did nothing for the division and Layla was their savior. So far, it's been the exact opposite. The Bellas had Vince McMahon pushing for them to be on TV. Now, even with the 3-hour Raws, they'd rather spend time on random recaps than to even give the divas their casual 30-second squash matches. Has my point been proven yet that Kelly and the Bellas, despite how the internet feels about them, had a huge effect on the Divas division? Well, Vince McMahon still never explained why AJ was named general manager out of nowhere, which leaves my theory open that AJ'd herself out to him in a private meeting. Regardless why it happened, AJ is general manager. She still sticks to the same antics as she does all the time, the goofy faces, ripping off Daniel Bryan's chants. Other than that, her voice isn't the most pleasant thing to hear when it comes to making an announcement. I mean, she's fine in backstage segments, but once she comes out to that stage, it sounds like a promo Kelly would be cutting. It's hard to take her seriously as a general manager, and she still pauses for 30 seconds in between sentences. Despite that, she's not doing a bad job. Being general manager, she has an excuse to be heavily involved in the main event still. But none of the decisions she makes are really AJ type decisions, except when it comes to Daniel Bryan. Besides that, everything she does is what a normal type of face general manager would do. I'm not sure how long she's going to be in this position for, but like Omar said, if you're going to have her in this position, let her make some decisions that would fit her character instead of just being generic GM. She has a score to settle with a lot of superstars and divas alike. She's starting to get payback on CM Drunk, and I'm hoping that this could set up for a feud with Eve maybe at SummerSlam. Winner becomes GM, they could have Eve win, and then she could bring back Johnny Ace. Now, I'm extremely happy that Madison is getting this push with Earl Hebner because for once it takes the focus off Gail Kim, or so I would hope. And Madison is an entertaining character once you get used to her. The referee angle is interesting for the time being. It can get old pretty fast. It has a good 2 months of potential at most. People are complaining how it should have been Tara or Mickie James. Why rush two potentially big storylines at this point? Let Brooke deal with Madison for the time being, then eventually work her way up to feud with her best friend Tara and the soon-to-be heel Mickie James. Now, after getting the contract with TNA, Taeler Hendrix has gone back to OVW to be their champion. Now, the interesting thing about Taeler is she looks more like the lovable babyface, but seems to work better as a heel. Somehow, it doubles the improvements in all her qualities. She speaks more believably, shows off more moves, and just like magic, she doesn't botch as often either. I don't know whether TNA is going to turn her heel whenever they decide to bring her back, though she could work well either way. But amazingly, it's like a heel turn fixes all her flaws she has when she's a face. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like Raquel Diaz turned up her charisma a lot since the last time she was on TV. She's still annoying, but she's not the Layla type of annoying. It's bearable, and you can tell she's having a lot of fun. I get the feeling she might make it to the main roster sooner than we think. They're also setting up a feud between Paige and Raquel, it appears. Even though Paige already lost her clean. But hey, it's a diva storyline, something we don't get on the big show, so why not? Anyway, that just about does it for this week. Omar and I are planning on doing a Q&A sometime after SummerSlam. We could use more than what we have right now, so if you have any questions, you can leave it in a comment or send it to our inbox. Anyway, this has been MTO with the MTO Omar Review, saying yada yada yada, blah blah blah, the end.